in skating, it's like you're naturally competitive because with yourself, because if you weren't, you'd never carry on, because it's like that whole thing of like, I am going to land this trick, I am going to figure this out. And if you didn't have that competitive drive, I think you'd just give up. You're thrown like really in the deep end. You have this 3 or 4 days of like, let's say 45-minute practices to get used to the skate park, figure out your run, and a lot of it's maybe obstacles you're not used to because of limited facilities. To put together a skate contest for them and for the older girls, but it was really important to have a safe, supportive, encouraging, fun, and professional environment where the girls were able to have the best possible situation for their contest.
And a massive thanks to my sponsors, I'm Not Plastic, Ocean Freedom Co., Wazoogles, Gudco, Numuti, and SoPure Natural. In studio, we have got Melissa Williams, aka Suzy Snakes.
Yeah.
The skater. And she's also a band member of Black Lung.
Yes, drummer.
Ooh, drummer. Nice. So who's your biggest influences as a drummer?
Well, when I started, it was actually like Black Keys. That's how I started playing, because they have like a super simple but like really groovy sound. You know, I really like that simple, like just, and the floor tom, just like really groovy and soulful without any frills, you know. So that's how I actually learned. I just played along to their songs. So that's kind of, and I don't really follow. That was 10 years ago when I started. So
But you must like the White Stripes as well.
yeah,
that sort of
totally.
vibe.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And have you always been musical? I mean, like from a young age?
Yeah, I like grew up with like my grandpa always had guitars and keyboards and things. So I think from like around, well, from a little kid, I was like making a noise. But from around 12, 13 is when I started to actually learn guitar and sing. And then I started like writing songs. I was the only child, so I think I had a lot of downtime to play music. But yeah, it was always like, I tried to play drums, but my parents wouldn't have it when I brought a drum kit home one day.
This was before the electronic drum kits.
Yes, yeah. And then I kind of played guitar in a punk band, like just after school. And then I stayed in London for a while, then I played bass. And then when I moved back, we started Black Lung. And that's, we all just kind of, like Justice, who plays bass now, he was playing a beer bottle and a harmonica. We were just like, we just want to play music. Let's just learn how to do this together. And yeah, that was like over 10 years ago already. So
you've been together for 10 years?
Yeah, I took like a 7-year hiatus. I was like in other bands, but they still kept going. And then I rejoined about a year or two ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, you seem to keep yourself quite busy, hey? Between your skate career, your skateboarding, and now you moving into coaching.
Yeah.
Let's rewind. So you're, just to paint the picture here, for those of you who don't know Melissa, she is very well known in the local skate community. She's very involved with the girls' skate night over at the Shred Skate Park here in Cape Town, which has been a fantastic thing to help and the development of getting young women into skateboarding and like really encouraging that whole vibe.
Yeah, we actually, so the Shred started this skate night, I think it was about 5 years ago or more. It was like a Friday night once a month. When I started going, there were like a handful of girls. And I was just like, wow, this is amazing, because I grew up, like at this point now, I think I started skating like 25 years ago, also when I was like 12, 13. And then my whole life never had seen any other girls skate ever. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. And I spoke to Warren at Vans and was like, can we, get some sponsorship to get, transport for more girls to come through, and like things like, food and drinks for them, and sponsor some prizes. So they came on board in a big way to make it possible. And, there were nights when we had like over 60 girls coming, and just like the progression and the growth of the women's skate scene, if you want to call it that, has been, over the years, has been amazing. Yeah.
Amazing. That's cool. And so you were the sort of the motivating factor behind getting Vans involved, and just like raising the awareness of that particular night.
Well, yeah, I think when Vans came on board, we were able to just like reach more people because, you know, with the funding, we were able to do posters and use their platform to like reach the message to more people. And with their support, we were able to get a bunch of the girls to help as coaches to teach girls how to skate, which is a major thing, and, you know, support the shred and have board rentals. So all of these things and the growth is like really dependent on funding and the supporter sponsors like Vans. So, yeah, if it wasn't for them, it wouldn't be possible. Because, yeah, so definitely, I mean, I would say there's also so many people that have been involved that keep it going. It's like the community is like driving itself. You know what I mean?
Amazing. And how many these days on a good night? How many girls come and have a skate sesh?
Well, it depends. There's just like a lot of young girls that are starting. So there's like, I don't know, there's like a wide range. You get, you know, like 9-year-olds and 12-year-olds, everything up to like, you know, your 20s, 30s, 40s. So, I mean, I haven't counted in a while because it kind of, yeah, but I would say, I mean, on average, anywhere between 30 and 60.
That's amazing. Yeah. And how often does it happen?
So it's once a month.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like the first Friday of the month at the Shred. And then
is it called Skatezilla or something?
Oh, Shredzilla.
Shredzilla
was a contest that I put on this year for the first time. It's going to become an annual women's and girls skate contest.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very rad. Yeah, so big up to Warren Talbot and the team over at Vans for getting behind this sort of initiative. We love to see it, and encouraging, you know, being as inclusive as possible to get more and more girls skating. Quite interestingly, I'm going to be going over to LA in a couple of weeks.
Oh, awesome.
And I'm taking some artboards with me. And I'm getting to meet Tony Elva and Stephen Duran.
Amazing.
And
all through Vans?
Peggy Sue. No.
Your own.
Through we did a screening of a film called Humanity Stoked.
Yes, I was there.
You were there? Yeah. Okay, so I played host to Michael Cohen, the director, and we struck up a bit of a friendship. And I suggested that because he bought the David Attenborough art board awesome. And he fell in love. And I said, well, why don't we do some of the cast members? Obviously, my plan was always going to be like, as long as I can bring the boards over and I get to meet my childhood heroes and get to speak to them. And he was down. And
amazing.
So we're going to auction those.
So cool.
Yeah, we're going to auction the boards, and some of the proceeds are going to go to his foundation, and some are going to come back to Wavescape's non-profit organizations like the 9 Miles Project and that sort of thing.
Cool. Awesome.
So I'm looking forward to that. And where am I going with this? Yeah, I just wanted to make you a little bit jelly there. Sorry.
No.
Okay, so growing up, we are talking also to an Olympian.
Yeah.
Melissa represented South Africa as a skater. What discipline? Was it park or
park,
was it? Okay, park. I remember watching that, and that must have been such a cool sort of little...
Yeah. No, it was amazing because, you know, of course, growing up as a skateboarder 20 plus years ago, I think it's quite different now, but then, you know, you were seen as like what would you say? As a bad person, you know?
Yeah. Well,
naughty.
Yes, naughty, the rebels. You know, I grew up in Pietermaritzburg, and we used to skate a bowl there at an emptied out pool, and I've got photos with myself and Sven, Martin, and Dallas, and that older crew, you know?
Yeah.
And yes, we were the dropouts.
Yeah, so I loved it that it was like this total ironic flip, that from just being like skating to being like in something as prestigious as the Olympics. It was pretty cool because I think a lot of people feel like, you know, skating is this amazing thing, and it was so like looked down upon and shunned by society, which is like so ridiculous because it's really such a powerful thing, you know, beautiful thing for community upliftment and for individuals. And I think most of us found a home there that we had nowhere else in the world. So so the Olympics was amazing, and obviously never expected anything like that. And I think the timing of it was amazing because a lot of the other women who skated it that year, which was the first year that it was there in the Olympics, were all women from like the first generations not the very first, because there were
Yes.
generations before, but it was just like really special in a different way, because it was all these people that have like really kind of been around, and just felt really special to be kind of part of this global moment, you know, because now all the girls skating are like 13.
The Scar Browns of the world.
The new generation are killing it. Yeah,
Yeah, especially the Japanese and the Asian skaters. I mean, they are next level.
yeah, they're amazing.
Well, it's in whatever discipline. I mean, that's the word. They're so disciplined, and they just like really spend a lot of time in the park and
Yeah,
on
it's
the
really
ramps.
amazing. Yeah, it's quite interesting because it's through the Olympics and this whole kind of sports side of skating, you see this whole different thing, which is like this training and putting in the hours and putting in the work, and it's completely different. You know, skating has this soulful street culture other side as well. So it's interesting to see it develop in this kind of sports structured side, but it's amazing because to see what those people are doing now is like phenomenal. They're really pushing the progression of skating in a different way, you know. But a lot of them are also, for instance, the street skaters, they are actually skating streets as well and doing street videos and stuff. So they are keeping it kind of, let's say, authentic to the culture as well, which is, I take my hat off to them, because it's not easy, because you have stuff, you know, risk of injuries, like quite serious if you like on this like Olympic pathway, and time away from training. So it's really cool to see the young girls also street skating as well as taking part in the competitions.
How has the whole okay, well, before I get there, I was chatting to someone in the snowboard community, a good friend of mine and close friend of mine, and he was telling me he was recently in New Zealand and he was watching these snowboarders from Japan. I mean, they're doing like 1980s, right? It's like crazy spins.
Yeah.
And he says the Japanese team, okay, are not allowed to leave the slopes.
Okay.
Even if it's like windy, like the snow is super hard, it's not like powder and soft.
Yeah.
They are made to stay like by their coach
Yeah.
in the park from like 7 in the morning till 5. They're not allowed to leave, and that's
a lot of dedication.
and that's how
and
sort of
discipline,
rigid
yeah.
they are, you know. But I was going to ask you how, like, from a, you know, counterculture has always been, and skating has always been like really core and street, and it's helped a lot of, you know, us kids who maybe grew up in dodgy areas and that, to find a creative path and an outlet. How is it received within the skating community, like the whole Olympic event?
Well, it was very, so funny. It was interesting. In the beginning, there was like this total rebellion against it. Like, what is this? This is ridiculous. And now I think everyone's kind of cooled down about it, because they can see, firstly, I think they're pretty excited about the progression. I mean, you can't deny the things that people are doing is amazing. And I think initially, I think everyone was kind of concerned. They were like feeling threatened, like that our precious community would be kind of destroyed, let's say. But that hasn't happened. It's been able to kind of have like, there's this world and there's that world, and we're kind of coexist. And some weave in between, and some kind of stay in their own thing. So I think I think it's only made skateboarding better, because so many brands have been involved and so many skate parks are being developed, like from a government level, like having sports departments and everything actually looking at skateboarding. And I think that can only be a good thing, because I feel like every kid in every community needs a skate park and needs skateboarding, you know?
Yeah. And so, born and bred Cape Townian?
Heck yeah.
Okay. And proudly so, by the sounds of it. Like southern suburbs?
Northern suburbs, actually.
Boerewors.
Yeah. Yes, Boerewors Kurtenside.
Boerewors Kurtenside.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now I can understand. But, I mean, like, at what age did you pick up a skateboard?
It was like 12.
Okay.
But that was the beauty of it, is that in my area, there was a old school, like 80s concrete snake run. So if that wasn't there, I probably wouldn't have picked up a board or whatever, because that's where all the naughty kids would hang out after school, at the snake run.
And is it still there?
No, I'm so bummed it's not. They covered it up with just sand, because the story goes the neighbors were complaining about the noise, but it's a massive park. They used to have a metal ramp as well, like half pipe style, because it was like 90s then, but it was like inherited from the 80s.
Yeah.
So
Those metal ramps were never lacquer. Hey?
no, they were more for rollerblading, I think,
Yes,
in those
yeah.
days. Yeah.
I think we had one somewhere in Maritzburg, and it
Yeah.
was always I don't know, it just didn't feel right.
Yeah. It's always sketchy, yeah.
And it made a funny noise, you know? Like a loud
Yeah.
clanking. And then when
Yeah.
it was sunny and was
Oh,
hot,
no, cooking, yeah.
and then you fall off, you're basically in a giant wok.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. And so at school, were you always that rebellious one growing up in high school?
Yeah,
I mean, you were playing in a band, you were
Yeah.
skateboarding. You must have been perceived as the
Yeah,
little rebel.
yeah, I didn't really fit in anywhere, to be honest, because, yeah, so basically, I always found like this kind of alternative friendship circles. I just didn't fit in with kind of the mainstream that was around me. You know, I guess what society wanted you to do or where they wanted to put you, I just didn't fit in there. So there was like a massive, like I loved live music and bands and skateboarding and so wherever I went in schools and stuff, I always kind of found, you know, one or two people and we just kind of made our own little crew. You know, I think people can probably relate to that.
Yeah, I mean, you do. You find your pack, right? Your
Yeah.
tribe.
Yeah, even if it's one person who's into like something pretty different to you, but at least still alternative, and you kind of just like
Yeah, in
you
those
know,
days it would have been Blink 182, Green Day, and that
yeah,
sort of thing.
exactly. Offspring.
Offspring. Oh yeah, I remember those days. Definitely. Cool. And so what do you do for a living? How do you support yourself?
Well,
She's done so much.
I've done a lot.
She has to. So far, I've done 37 different jobs in my life,
No,
so I also have
yeah.
to think.
I've done like a lot of marketing for brands like RVCA or Ruka. I was working with them.
Okay.
Blunt Magazine was my first job.
Oh, wow.
I was writing for them while I was still at school.
Or
From
Miles
16.
Masterson.
Yeah, when I was 16, I was writing, and that was my first job after school. I worked at Roadrunner Records in London when I lived there, which was amazing. I also Revolution Skate Supply, Clayton.
Yes.
I worked with him, and then we had a venue called The Pit, which ran behind Clark's. So I've done a lot of different stuff, all kind of in skating, music, art, team
Counterculture.
managing, marketing, writing, photography, like just a mix of stuff. And now I'm freelance doing mainly social media, like running social media accounts, because it's still kind of like community photography, writing, it's kind of that. And then I do kind of like skate projects, skate events, stuff like that.
Nice. So, yeah, you get your creative outlet through these different sources. Do you remember Slam City Skates?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Yeah. I used to visit there quite often because
Yeah,
I also
they're
lived in the UK for a
Okay.
while. But yeah, I used to love going there whenever I went into the city.
Were you at the one where they had the record store downstairs?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Rough
yeah.
Trade Records.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, super nice.
And I used to live near Romford, so I always used to go to the Romford Bowl and
Okay,
that little skate park there
Okay.
in Essex.
Okay.
We were talking about it earlier, living in Essex.
okay.
All right, so tell us about your helping and coaching side of things.
So I suppose through the skate nights, it was kind of like helping girls to learn how to skate. And I think in skating, you're always kind of like, well, you're always learning new tricks. So I think it comes naturally. You're always trying to help your mates, like, oh, you know, I think you're not rotating enough. Or it's like, I think it's part of skate culture is to help each other land a trick, or at least in my experience. So I think with the competitive skating now and with the Olympics, there's a whole different side of skateboarding when it comes to like coaching and being more kind of strategic and structured in your learning, whereas skating is normally always progression, but at your own pace and in your own, just whatever you feel like on the day. So I learned a lot when I was kind of trying to do my best for the Olympics, and I really kind of enjoyed the process of learning. Like I did some courses on like mental performance and like super interesting stuff I never knew about before. It's kind of like, let's say, nerdy stuff.
Yes, the more theory side of and the psychological side of skating.
But it started with just like, I'm so nervous for this comp. Surely there's a way to manage this, and just like Googling. Then it's like, oh, there's this whole thing, like how to deal with, what is mental performance and how do you... I think I really enjoy like the concept of kind of being better at whatever. So I suppose that's like the nerdy side, It's like, oh, this is cool if we, learn about this. If you develop your skills in this way, then you can actually do something that you want to do. It's like just how to achieve your goals and your dreams, really, because I guess some people just have it, like that natural talent thing. And then some people, it can be developed, or even people who have it can be developed even further. So, so at the moment, I'm coaching Boipelo. She was given a grant from the Olympic Solidarity called, there's lots of big words, the Youth Athlete Development Program. Okay. So the Olympic Solidarity is like the part of the Olympics where they help with the development of the sport and athletes in countries that need it, because a lot of other countries have a lot of funding from their sporting structures. Sure. Yeah. So that's how I came about it, because she was granted the Youth Athlete Development Program, and because she's under 18, she needed a coach to go with her. So I, put up my hand because I've known her for quite a while, and I feel like I learned quite a lot in the competitions and in like doing courses, coach courses. Yeah. So it's been great working with her on her Olympic pathway, coming up with training plans and strategies. And you actually need a lot of help when you're skating these international contests, because you're thrown like really in the deep end. You have this, let's say you have 3 or 4 days of like, let's say 45-minute practices to get used to the skate park, figure out your run. And a lot of it's maybe obstacles you're not used to because of limited facilities. And you have to like get a run down in that time. So it's and your run is only 45 seconds. And if you fall, they mark you down. So it's like this super intensive environment. And I think it's really essential that skateboarders have a coach to help them and guide them in their decision-making process with like deciding what tricks you're going to do, how you're going to put your run together.
Planning the runs, yeah. And dealing with the psychological pressure.
Totally.
Just before the run and post-run.
Yeah. Because in this situation, it can be very like overwhelming and very hectic. So I think it really helps to have someone in your corner,
Cool. Well, that's quite it's a nice way to keep you involved.
Yeah, exactly. Because, I mean,
because you're the OG now. I mean, you've done the Olympics. Everyone in the South African community knows you.
Yeah, I want to help people and I want to stay involved because I'm super passionate about it. So, and I feel like, when you've been in it for a long time, you want to, like, you feel like you've learned a few things that you want to pass on, not necessarily, it's just cool to still be involved, definitely.
So what would you describe as, I mean, you're probably quite a competitive person by nature.
I think it's a combination. I'm competitive, but also it's like this weird thing of like, you're super supportive of everyone around you, but you're also competitive.
Gotcha.
Which is like interesting because sometimes you think competitive, you think, oh, you just like hate everyone around you.
And it's all about you. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting, but I think a lot of people in skating, it's like you're naturally competitive because with yourself, because if you weren't, you'd never carry on because it's like that whole thing of like, I am going to land this trick. I am going to figure this out. And if you didn't have that competitive drive, I think you'd just give up.
And what's your, we talk about these amazing young women and girls learning to skate. Like, what's your views and feelings on getting people to, I certainly know what mine is, but I want your comments and perception of the average person's view on a young girl skateboarding, and especially in South Africa.
Well, I think people have opened up a lot more to it. I think, because of the Olympics, it's become like a mainstream thing. Like I think everyone knows Sky Brown and they're just like so impressed by it. So I think there's been like a real shift literally in the last year or two where it's become super cool for parents to support their girls in skating, and in the mainstream view, just very normal. So I think there's been a massive shift, and I think it's amazing.
Yeah, me too. And you've kind of seen it, haven't you? Like so many more people and so many young girls in their cute dresses skating, and it's a beautiful thing to actually witness, you know.
Totally. And at the skate nights, it's just so cool because, you know, the parents are bringing their little girls. They're so supportive. You know, it's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Because, you know, especially in South Africa, you can't just go to a skate park as a little girl on your own. You know, it's can be quite dangerous and intimidating. So it's cool, you know, like these skate nights and skate parks like the Shred is a safe space where parents can take their kids and, you know,
get involved and feel safe.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, the safe environment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you want to get involved and you want to get your daughters down into a skate park, the Shred, we'll leave all the details down below. We'll leave all Melissa's details. If you need some coaching, perhaps.
Yeah, come join a skate night. It's called Skate Smiles Club, is the kind of like collective Skate Smiles Club.
Fling at you. Thank you. We're getting another sticker. The Skate Smiles Club.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
That's our project, women's projects, events, competitions.
Nice.
Fun.
Very fun. And is there a website for this? Or is it
just
on
Instagram?
Okay, Instagram.
Yeah, Skate Smiles Club.
Skate Smiles Club.
Yeah.
And here it is down below. And here's Melissa on a skateboard doing what she does, just floating in the air here. Maurice will make it happen. Let's talk about, we mentioned it earlier, but Shredzilla. It's an annual contest once a year, and you the sort of organizer behind it.
Yeah, so now with all these young girls, you know, coming to these skate nights, to put together a skate contest for them and for the older girls, but it was just like, for me, really important to have a safe, supportive, encouraging, fun and professional environment where the girls were able to have the best possible situation for their contest. Because it's great now, a lot of the bigger contests, some have always had girls contests at, like for instance, the Kimberley skate park back in the day, it was the Maloof Money Cup, and they had a girls contest.
I remember that.
Yeah. And now most of the contests include a girls division, but sadly, to be honest, some of it is still like very sidelined. So the conditions maybe aren't as ideal or aren't as equal yet, but I think it is getting there. But I just thought it was really important for the community to have an event where they had lots of practice time, they had the space to themselves, where they didn't have to feel intimidated. They were given like a day just for them, where they could have the focus. And just like, I think it just really, it's cool for building community, and it's cool for progressing. Like everyone was practicing hard to like develop their tricks and to push themselves, and especially for the younger girls to kind of keep that progression going. I think it was it's really important. So I was really excited about that first event, and we had multiple divisions, like mini ramp for the under 12s and the advanced street for both age groups. So because normally it's just one age group, so I think it's also really important for the younger girls to have their own special moment, you know, for their age group. So we'll be doing it every year. It'll be
awesome.
Annual, yeah.
And is there an Instagram page for that?
That's also on Skate Smiles Club. So
okay, there we go.
Instagram, Skate Smiles.
So you've had it for this year. It'll be next year.
Yes, on Women's Day, the 8th of August.
Got you.
Yeah.
For all you aspiring young skaters, get down to skate.
Shred. Think about the Shred skateboard.
Shredzilla.
Yes.
There we go. Cool. And Black Lung, the band. Have you got an Instagram page?
It's called Black_Lung_band.
It's floating in the air here right now. So then you can just click on the link below. Go and support. What's the genre?
Punk.
Okay. Proper like old school punk.
Yeah, and it's like kind of also like skate punk.
Oh, okay.
We're all skaters in the band, so we sing about skateboarding and and not surfing.
Did you ever watch that movie called Thrashing
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
with the Chili Peppers?
Oh, was it them?
It was the Chili
okay.
Peppers prior
Amazing.
to them becoming so commercial.
Yeah.
And I remember it was just this like mosh pit, and it was basically the song went like this. I don't know, you'll remember it. It goes like, ooh, 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 and just like people going.
Amazing. I need to go watch that.
Yeah, you got to watch it again. I'll never forget it. And then a few years later, I'm standing in Brixton Academy and Flea's like right in front of me with the bass. He's totally naked. He's just got a bass, bass over it. And it was absolutely dream come true.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. We'll check out the Black Lung. And if you want to do a bit of headbanging and mosh pitting, then go for it. That's cool.
It's a fun time.
Amazing. And all the while juggling everyday life, eh?
Yeah.
No kids?
No, but I have a golden retriever who's basically.
Oh, there we go. You got a fur baby.
Retriever, you know. It's
Yeah,
like having
like
a kid.
Finding Marley. Oh. What's it movie?
Marley and Me.
Yeah, Marley and Me. It's a bit like that, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Melissa, it's been an absolute treat. I mean, the positive vibes that you're bringing to the women's skate community, we all want to get behind. We want to see more girls on skateboards.
Yeah.
And the Skate Smiles Club, follow, get involved, get your daughters down there. And I wish you all the very best.
Thank you so
with
much.
With your coaching career, with your musical career, with your golden retriever.
Thank you.
And what else?
I want to give just a shout out to all the girls that are part of the Skate Smiles Club, because it's like a real community thing. You know, like all the girls they just help out. They teach people how to skate. They get on board. They support it. It's like everyone makes it such a cool thing. So yeah, big shout out to everyone that's part of it and everyone that supports, you know, like the Shred. They're always super supportive. Vans, Red Bull. Like there's a lot of people out there doing a lot of good things to make it all happen, you know. So,
that's cool.
And there's so many people bringing the vibes. Even the guys from the band, they like played the Shreds a lot after party for free, and like everyone's just on board for the good vibes. And I'm super grateful for all the amazing people. So big shout out to everybody.
There you go. You know who you are.
You know who you are.
Massive shout out. And I forgot to say earlier on also to Numuti, my other sponsor. This is amazing stuff. This is a Thrive with Skeletium. It wakes your brain up. It keeps you alert. And then I've got another one called Rewind, which is like when you want to chill out. But massive shout out to Numuti. Shout out to the people at Wavescape, my associates, and also to thank you to Marty Lund for letting us use your studio space. Also to Elad from Brutal Curations and the Gudco for sending us this amazing sign. I'm going to say thank you, Melissa, for making your way here just before band practice.
Yes.
You go along and thrash out on your sort of Thursday, on drums. Go wild on drums. I can just see you behind the drums going crazy. And thanks for joining me. I really appreciate your time.